I think though on the SAP side, what we're also seeing is a change in customer behaviours. These large customers are just not willing to get knocked about by SAP. They're not willing to be bullied, and so they are putting their foot down. And they're just not playing SAP's game, and that's a real problem for SAP. And the problem is that when you get into a dominant position, you get into a dominant position mindset, which, as I said, was the mindset IBM were in the early 90s. And the executives, it becomes a bad marriage. It's incredibly difficult to shift that mindset to be more agile and to be more customer centric and yada yada yada, which is never really been SAP's strong point, but absolutely is not SAP's strong point recently in the last 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting a lot of really good comments and questions in the chat here, so I'm going to just keep pulling up some of the comments here. Andy on LinkedIn says, if they go after SAP in an antitrust suit, then they'll have to go after Oracle as well, and that is an impossible battle for the EU to win. Larry Ellison has rather deep pockets. I don't know.
Putin is far richer than Ellison and Elon Musk put together, according to Elon Musk. So I think the EU's got a few quid if it wants. I don't think this is a question of pockets. I think this is a question of regulation. But the truth is that the difference between SAP and Oracle is that Oracle are not crowding out their customer base and pushing them and punching them to do something they don't want to do.
I agree.
As soon as Oracle start that behavior, then you'll see an equivalent backlash. I'm quite certain.
Yeah, you might. I think you'd be more likely to see it with like Microsoft, maybe partly because the EU's already had successful cases against Microsoft in the past for consumer-facing technology, and that's the thing we talked about last week. By the way, is if we were in a consumer-facing space, this ERP space that we're in right now, the digital transformation space, this would have been regulated long ago. But we're still in the wild, wild west. Tech companies can do whatever they want, and they can get away with it. But now all of a sudden the EU saying, well, maybe not. Maybe you're not going to get away with it. And I actually think it's a good thing because I think it'll force not just SAP, but other big tech providers to look at what they're doing. And see.
I looked up in Europe recently how many big cases there have been against Microsoft for things like true ups and breach of license terms. And do you know how many I found?
How many?
None.
Yeah.
So there's a real psychological difference. But now I think Microsoft realize they're missing a trick because they are starting to do true ups now. But Microsoft are a far easier company to deal with in that respect. I mean, I have a little saying that SAP terms and conditions are unreasonable and Microsoft's are unfathomable and Oracle's are both. And out of all of the three legal departments that I deal with, by far and away the worst to deal with is Oracle, actually. But Microsoft generally are just happy to get the money, right? And the number of court cases there are against Microsoft or Microsoft against clients is vanishingly small compared to the number against SAP and then to a lesser extent Oracle. So again, there's a different psychology about how those organizations go about their business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think SAP's sort of taken it to the extreme, and others are starting to follow some of their plays and their playbooks. But I think SAP, and it's also the big behemoth. They're the easiest one to pick on if you're a regulator because they're so big, and so I can see why SAP's the target here.
Well, and SAP's in Europe, right? It's headquartered in Germany. So if you're in Europe, that's an easy target because they're right in your back pocket jurisdiction, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's also, isn't it the EU's most highly valued company or definitely tech company? I don't know if it's the
most highly valued tech company. Yeah, no, it's a long way from being the most highly valued EU company.
Yeah.
That's Third Stage Consulting Europe's most highly.
I mean, I know. I just didn't want to brag about it. So here's an interesting, speaking of Oracle, and I apologize, I don't see who put this, but this is on LinkedIn. It says, interestingly, workflow systems layered on top of ERP systems to automate the tedious work are popular in the UK. There are more Oracle Apex developers in the UK and Europe than in the US, I would venture to say. You've seen
yes, no, absolutely. And that, funny enough, we have clients. In fact, we were talking to a potential client last week. a lot of the Oracle Fusion, or whatever they call their product suite today, the actual manufacturing side of Oracle Fusion really has quite a poor success rate. And so we do see a lot of layered, and people going, okay, we give up on Fusion directly for manufacturing, and we'll layer other applications on the top to do the MRP side of things, and we'll just do ERP for Oracle. And in fact, one of my people, Dominic, he's in a client at the moment unwinding an Oracle Fusion project that's gone wrong and putting in a MRP on the top of Oracle to solve that exact problem. So yes, that's definitely a truism.
Yeah. And here's a follow-up comment. I think it's from the same person, because I don't see the name, and you might appreciate this British history, Stuart, but the current head of Oracle Apex, which is Oracle's AI vibe coding platform, is Simon Hunt. He was formerly at the British Army for 20 plus years doing Apex apps. He won a medal for it, I believe the Victoria Cross, for how much he saved them, avoiding the rip and replace approach other vendors were pushing. So
the thing we give Victoria Cross is for extreme bravery in the front of Oracle, but if we do, I'm fascinated.
I don't know, what is a Victoria Cross model for those of us that are not?
The Victoria Cross is something we give for extreme bravery in things like World War One, when you go over the top and try and run straight towards the enemy without being fearful.
Yeah, he might have. I mean,
he might have got a medal for conspicuous bravery, I'm sure, but I'm not certain it was for going in front of Oracle and using their Apex apps. I think
unless his life was at risk, which I wouldn't be surprised if someone's life was at risk for. Because sometimes I wonder, like, is SAP going to send out some henchmen after me or something? Because I always talk about how SAP does things I don't like, but
yeah, well, yeah.
So I've got to poke the bear a little bit here, Stuart, because the good thing about knowing you so well for so long is I know what some of your triggers are, and I'm going to trigger you here. And this is not it. Oh shoot, there's so many really good questions that now I lost it. Oh, here it is. So this is from another LinkedIn person that I don't see the name. It says, have companies in the UK and Europe genuinely integrated AI into their ERP systems, or is it still more experimental?
No.
I mean, surely AI is going to solve all this, right? I mean,
no. It's incredibly difficult to shift that mindset to be more agile and to be more customer centric and yada, yada, yada.